Hello everybody and welcome back to 5 Tips in 5 Minutes. This week we're looking at diversity data collection. Progressive companies realise that if they're going to measure their diversity progress and target their inclusion activities, they need to know more about the identities of their employees. But collecting diversity data is a very sensitive topic. Your employees need to trust you enough to provide information about their gender expression, their ethnicity, disability, religious expression, and so on. And you need to be very clear on the classification of your data, how you're going to collect it, where you're going to store it, and how you're going to protect it. And of course, how you're going to use it. And there's 2 main elements to diversity data collection. 1, the logistics of collecting it, and 2, encouraging your employees to provide it. So here's my 5 tips. Tip 1 is to establish a cross-functional team. This is not an HR exercise. You need legal input, you need a comms team, you need the voice of the employees, maybe through your ERGs, and you need an IT person who understands your people database and how to use it. Tip 2 is about building trust. Is arguably even more important than the logistics of the data collection itself. You can have a great process in place, you can have all of your logistics in place, but if nobody gives you their data, what's the point? So before attempting data collection, you need to start building trust at least 3 months ahead, preferably 6. You need to show how you plan to use the diversity data to make your company a more inclusive place to work with more equity of opportunity. This is where your ERGs can be invaluable. Your ERGs are the trusted voice of the employee. And if you have them supporting you and taking a lead in your comms campaign, you're far more likely to get a high return rate. And when you're doing your comms campaign, it's really important to be crystal clear with everybody to explain why you want it, how you're going to collect it, how you're going to protect it, and be transparent about who has access to it. Tip 3 is to really nail your data categories. You can use national government classifications, you can make up your own, and this is where your IT person can work with the software company that you use for your people database. Tip 4 is to decide whether you want to collect the data directly into your people system or whether you collect it separately. If you have self-service and you can get people to put it directly into the system, it makes it much more usable. You can link it anonymously to things like your employee opinion survey, to talent identification and hiring. If you collect it separately and host it elsewhere, you won't get this insight, but you might get more people contributing. At the end of the day, it's about what you want to use the data for. If it's simply for measuring, then it's probably okay to collect separately. If you want it to make database decisions about people policy priorities, you're probably better playing the long game and collecting it over a period of years. And that leads me on to tip 5, don't expect quick results. Depending on the size and geographic scale of your company, it could be up to a year, perhaps even longer, before you have usable data. The first 3 to 6 months of your project will be about your comms campaign, building the trust, and also establishing your data classification, sorting out the software. It all takes a lot longer than you would think. One quick win is to introduce the data collection into your hiring process. But a good return for a first round of data collection is 30 to 40%. So that probably won't be sufficient to have confidence in using it across your company, but it might bring sufficient information to have pockets of data that you can use to tell stories and show how you can use the data to make the business a more inclusive place to work. So to summarise, establish a collectively accountable cross-functional team, work hard to build trust across the company, nail and consult about your data categories, decide whether you want to collect your data directly into your system or separately, and don't expect fast results. Cool, it gets harder to fit this into 5 minutes every week. I hope that's been useful, and I'll see you next time.